Welcome back to AM Northwest. Hiring a career coach isn't just for high-level executives anymore. Here to share 5 things to consider when looking for a coach to support you in achieving your career goals. We welcome back career strategist and personal brand expert, Dr. Parker Walsh. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too.
So explain more what a career coach does. I mean, how do they help you?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different types of coaches that are out there. So you really want to be clear about the type of coach that you're looking for. Like, for example, for myself, I use the term career strategist or executive coach because I personally tend to work with people who are looking to make transitions or maybe are promoting into higher echelons or levels in their career. And they want support on navigating those new roles and how to show up differently, how to communicate better, how to be more effective as a leader, and things of that nature, which is different from maybe people who focus on resume writing or interview prep or are really some of the traditional career things we think about, like from career services groups out of universities that kind of help you get that initial job. And there are coaches that work with people at different stages and levels of their career, whether it's a new graduate or someone who's more experienced.
So you have to get you have to get clear on what you need, right?
You have to get clear on what you need. And unfortunately, career coaching is such a broad term that we can really get confused and think we're comparing apples with apples, and really we're comparing apples against oranges. So you want to first know what it is that you want from coaching, what it is that you need from coaching, so that you know how to go about finding the right person for you, right? Because you may think, well, I'm an executive, let me just find a career coach. And like I said, you'll find a resume writer that's not going to really help you be effective in what it is that you're trying to accomplish in this stage or game of your career.
Do you think the coach has to have experience in whatever area you're looking for a career?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Career coaching is not an overly regulated industry, although I think it's important to find someone who has some type of certification or training in it. And that primarily, I think, is the baseline that you want to have. But it definitely helps to have someone who has some experience in your industry, right? So, for example, I tend, because I've worked a lot in healthcare, I've worked as an attorney, I've worked in academia, I worked as an executive in those levels. I have that experience that I can really relate to the people that I'm coaching and connecting with, right? So that I can kind of have a feeling of where they've been. I know the lingo, I know the jargon, I know what to expect based on my own experience. So it gives me a greater insight to be able to support them. However, based on the amount of, if you get certification and experience coaching people at that levels, it can open you up to coach people in other industries. So I have coached people, like, for example, in tech. Even though I haven't worked in tech, I have enough experience working with people at a particular level in an organization that I can support them regardless of the industry that they may find themselves in. But it does help, to find a coach, and you probably can find greater relatability with someone who has some experience or some background in either the level that you're at in your company or in your organization, or where you are in your career or in that particular industry.
Do they have to show that they have a method of success? Like, should they show that they worked with different people who've made it up to their...
Yes, that is really an important thing to know, to really differentiate whether or not you're working with someone who can really help you or not. Someone who really has like a method, a framework, a way to tell you that, listen, if you work with me, I have a system that I know that if we walk through these steps or go through this process, that you can get the results that you want. You want to be careful when you're talking to or questioning people about whether or not you want to work with them about, like, how can you help me? And if it sounds like they're kind of rambling, or it's very open-ended, or it's like, oh, we'll just work together and we'll see, that may be a red flag.
Good point.
Someone who really has a proven system to say, this is what I've known, because they have previous case studies or clients that they've worked with to prove that, based on this process and this framework that I've developed, I know that I can help you with your situation.
And you think it's important? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the other great thing about having that is that it lets you know that they know they can help you. Right? Every coach can't help everyone. So if you're clear on what you want and they're clear on their process, it makes it so much easier to know that this is exactly what you need and the help that you can get.
And do they have to have, as you say, a clear, compelling presence and a brand? Brand is very important, right?
Brand is very important. Like, how are they showing up out there in the world, right? You don't want someone who you look them up or you Google them and can't find any information about them or what they've done.
I see.
You want someone that you can do a little recon, a little research on, and you see that, oh, well, maybe they've presented on the topic, they've written on the topic, they show up on AM Northwest and talk about the topic.
Yeah.
Right? That they have some type of credibility in their field to show that this is someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so you can see that in a brand. Have they written articles? Have they, talked about it, presented? And sometimes they offer free content and free information. And if that proves to be helpful for you, then the paid service that you're going to get is going to be that much more valuable. So you want to make sure there's some type of credibility markers out there in the world so that you know that you're dealing with someone who can actually support you.
You also say to ask the question, are they teaching you to fish or are they fishing for you?
Yes, this is really important. It's the difference between you want somebody to do everything for you or really to give you the tools and the strategies and the knowledge that you need that you can then go on year after year after year and apply that information to help you as you continue to move and develop in your career. So the people who say, well, I'm going to do this for you, or I'll do your resume, or I'll do whatever for you, you're not really getting what you need to be helpful. So if the situation comes up again, you're going to have to hire somebody else because you have no idea what to do.
Right.
So you want to have someone who's going to really teach you and give you the support, help you to take the skills and the gifts and the knowledge and the wisdom that you already have and leverage that to be able to be successful in whatever it is you want to do. So that time and time again, when you're done with the coaching relationship, that you can rely on what you've learned to apply that in every situation for the future.
Absolutely. Dr. Carol Parker Walsh, always great to talk with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.